I can't be as loud as I want. I'm in a hotel room because I'm currently in Los Angeles, because I'm going on the Joe Rogan podcast later today. So, cool, heads up. But today's early morning story, I have a question. Why is it that everyone gets outraged when specific people are caught having done something bad in their past? When other people do the same thing, no one seems to care. If you know what I'm trying to say. Like the image you see on the screen. The View host Joy Behar under fire for use of blackface. The only thing? She didn't actually do blackface. This is what's really crazy. So, the AP, essentially in this story, if you don't look at the image, you might be shocked. You might be upset that The View is having a celebrity in blackface. So, the point I'm trying to make in the beginning is that when the dude in Virginia has this image come out, and then some other guy admits to doing the same thing, everybody loses their minds. And you had Jimmy Kimmel, you had Jimmy Fallon, I think, too. I got a big list. But basically, you have these celebrities who've done it in the past. Sarah Silverman, no one says anything. Except now they're saying things. And this is what's really weird. Because you could go back and get mad at these late-night TV hosts who are clearly, imitating black people and be upset about it. Instead, they pull up this story where this was a tweet by John Levine from The Wrap. And I don't want to play the full video, but
sure,
that's what she did. She was wearing like bronzer or something. Are you joking? So this is what John Levine tweeted. Joy Behar admitted during a taping of The View in 2016 to dressing as a beautiful African woman at a Halloween party when she was 29, which involved makeup that was a little bit darker than my skin, she says. They say the story was reported in Jezebel at the time. So this is from a while ago. And can I just point out, that's not blackface. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The outrage machine is churning. So here's where it gets particularly interesting. No thank you, CNN. I don't want any of your whatever you're offering me. CNN has decided to go full steam and just go after everybody. Virginia isn't a one-off. Here's a growing list of celebrities and lawmakers who got in trouble over blackface. It's not just Virginia politicians. Prominent people in the world of politics and entertainment have gotten into hot water for wearing blackface long before Virginia Governor Ralph Northam and State Attorney General Mark Herring recently admitted to it. Blackface dates back nearly 200 years, when white performers started darkening their faces with polish and cork to mock enslaved Africans in minstrel shows. These displays depicted black people as lazy, ignorant, cowardly, or hypersexual. It was racist and offensive then and still is today. I am no fan of minstrel shows or blackface, and I think that we should call out things in the past that were racist, because a lot of people don't seem to realize, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way, but I mention this a lot, that it was like 1967 where interracial marriage was actually allowed in this country. Cohabitation was illegal. Like, you literally couldn't have a roommate of a different race. That's crazy. I think anybody today would think that was insane. So, very clearly we can go back and look at these things and say, yeah, this was not a good idea. However, what people are doing now is some of these are just straight up overt blackface. But look at this big list. So I could pull up any one of these. Louisiana House Representatives candidate Robbie Gaddy dressed like Tiger Woods for a church event. But here's another question I have. When it comes to blackface, they were very clearly doing something specific. Are you allowed to dress like Tiger Woods? Are you allowed to dress up like a beautiful African woman? They're freaking out over what Joy Behar did, but I'm kind of like, did she really do anything wrong? Man, and now I'm going to get Megyn Kelly, because Megyn Kelly asked a similar question, but Megyn Kelly, I think, so for those that aren't familiar, actually, we'll pull up in the AP story, because they talk about this. They say, critics were quick to point out that NBC cut ties with host Megyn Kelly last year after she created a furor by suggesting that it was okay for white people to wear blackface on Halloween. Kind of. She was talking about wearing a Halloween costume and asked why wasn't it so bad. She clearly didn't know. She was ignorant and needed to be educated. Fine. Okay. I don't think she meant to hurt anybody's feelings or bring offense to anybody. They got rid of her anyway. So now, you've got this essential... This is great too, because the AP is also doing the same thing. Other white celebrities who have been called out for using blackface include Julianne Hough, who in 2012 dressed as a character from Netflix's Orange is the New Black, and Real Housewives of New York star Luann D. Lesseps, who dressed as Diana Ross for Halloween in 2017. I have to wonder if we're not, I kind of feel like darkening your skin a little bit, like what Joy Behar did, is totally different from what blackface is. And then you have those kids, the Covington story, right? It seems like Wow, something's really happening right now. That's kind of freaking me out. I did a story about this dude who goes into a bar in Phoenix and sees a photo of coal miners with soot on their face, outraged. You've got Mary Poppins. She goes through a chimney, soot on her face, outraged. Joy Behar. I mean, look at this photo of her. It's like she's not even... it's not even doing anything. And they're freaking out. This tweet's got 4,000 retweets. I'll point this out. One thing that conservatives do a lot is react to things brought up by the left. There's, and it's really funny because I don't know if you guys have seen Mike Cernovich's new documentary Hoaxed. I'm in it, full disclosure. But there's a really great... I don't know if you've seen Hoaxed. It's worthy of some criticism. It's not bad, I think. He's got like Alex Jones and Stefan Molyneux. I'm not big fans of those guys, but that's fine. But in the video, in his documentary, he brings up a really, really fantastic point. He's talking to Ryan Holiday, who is fantastic, by the way. If you don't know who Ryan Holiday, look him up. He's like a master media manipulator. And Ryan talks about how Mike Cernovich was creating a funhouse mirror for the left and the media, and they didn't know how to deal with it. And there's a fantastic, fantastic moment when he's on, I think it was like 2020 or 60 Minutes or something, and this journalist asks him, you claimed that Hillary Clinton has Parkinson's. That's not true. And Mike's like, yeah, it is. Who says it isn't? And he's like, you interviewed one physician, and then, Mike asks the journalist, how do you know she doesn't have, how do you know she's not sick? And he says, well, the campaign told us. And he goes, why would you believe the campaign? And then the guy literally drops his glasses. The point of that story is, I didn't actually realize this for a long time, but, a lot of what Mike Cernovich does is reflecting back at the left what they're doing to conservatives. So the reason I'm bringing this up specifically is when it comes to Joy Behar, I'd be willing to bet the reason why this story is getting picked up, the reason why this tweet's got 4,000 retweets, the reason why James Gunn got fired, it's not because conservatives are actually like, these people should be fired. In the instance of James Gunn, there's a lot of people who do think that, don't get me wrong. But I think what ends up happening is conservatives see that the left does these things to them and reflect it. In fact, Mike Cernovich said it was Andrew Kaczynski, I believe his name is, a K-file from CNN, who started digging up old tweets and then smearing people with them, smearing the people with those tweets. And so he tweeted out, hey, I'm only doing this because CNN's doing it. And, well, there you go. So when I see a story like this with Joy Behar, when I see people, conservatives bringing up, Jimmy Kimmel, I wonder what these link to, actually. Oh my God, they actually got, this is a huge list. Now, I'm reticent to do this video because I'm a huge fan of Robert Downey Jr. just because I love the Marvel movies. But there is a dramatic difference between what Robert Downey Jr. did in Tropic Thunder and what Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon did. The point of what Robert Downey Jr. did in Tropic Thunder was to make fun of blackface. And you actually had a character in the movie, like, berating him for doing it. But whatever. Sure, bring Robert Downey Jr. into this. The point is, in my experience, many conservatives are thick-skinned. Meaning, like, you can insult them all day and night, you can say things, and they're going to be like, whatever. You have a guy come out, dressed in offensive clothing or whatever, and they might be like, yeah, well, I'll go do something else. And I think it's one of the things that separates the left from the right. Many people on the right are much more resilient to offense, not completely, don't get me wrong. But, in my experience, I talk to a conservative friend, and they just like, yeah, whatever, I don't care, that's stupid. The left are like, how dare they, society shouldn't allow this. So there's that flip. But then, why is it that conservatives are getting all riled up over this? Because the left has weaponized outrage culture against many conservatives. You can see it in Covington. You get people literally calling for the death of these kids. They're posting photos from their basketball game where they're throwing a three-pointer sign up and they're saying it's a Nazi hand sign. And they're trying to get these kids literally killed. So what happens? Conservatives turn around and say, okay, we can play this game too. I think the left does this on purpose. Like they're actually like, oh no, how dare someone, do something like this? Although their selective outrage makes me question whether or not they actually believe any of it. But the right is typically, in my opinion, responding. What's really crazy is you can see, like, I think the reason Megyn Kelly, for instance, got fired from NBC is because she used to be Fox News. They didn't like her. They wanted her gone. And they got rid of her. What she said was so dumb. All she had to do was have, like, a nice talking to, Well, let's actually do. I'm going to go on too long. Let's go through just a quick bit of these. You've got South Carolina County Councilman Brant Tomlinson, dressed as a Jamaican bobsledder. Former Florida Secretary of State Mike Ertl, a Hurricane Katrina victim. Illinois State Senate candidate Hal Patton, as a black football player. I'm not going to read all this. Ted Danson and then girlfriend Whoopi Goldberg repeatedly losing that. Whoa. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was trying to be provocative. He was trying to do that on purpose. You got Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. Okay, so I was right. Paula Dean and her son dressed as Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. Whoa. Wait, what? Lucy and Ricky Ricardo? Ricky Ricardo is like Cuban. Is it Cuban face? Is this a joke? Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm in a hotel room. I'm not, it's hard to be as effective and get things done the way I'd like to get them done, but I'm doing the best I can. I literally flew out at the last minute because I got a phone call and asked to fly out the next day. Here I am. Stick around. I'll have another video up at 1 p.m., then 4 p.m. on the main channel, and then at 6 p.m. I'll see you then.